ومن فلوريدا ينضم إلينا سانديب شارما وهو رئيس قسم الاستثمار في سنتاكس كابيتال. أهلا وسهلا بك سانديب معنا. أعتقد بأن السؤال الأكبر اليوم تصحيح أو لا تصحيح في وول ستريت.
Well, always a pleasure to be on your show, and that is a good question. But I think instead of focusing on a correction, we need to think a little bit more about what could possibly still go right for the rest of the year. And certainly, as you've noted, that the markets have been propelled by MAG7 type of stocks, but there is a significant amount of dry powder still available to other areas of the market that could still do well. And we've seen some kind of a recovery in, for example, healthcare and pharmaceutical stocks. There is a lot of movement and opportunity available in materials and energy type of stocks. So the value side of the index is still very attractive. So we could possibly see a significant upside in the market before we start talking about a decent sized correction.
طيب، هل يجب أن نراقب أسهم بعينها ونتابع نسبة معينة من التراجع عليها حتى نقول أننا بدأنا في مرحلة التصحيح؟ ما هي المعايير التي سنبني عليها توقعاتنا بأن السوق بدأت بالتصحيح وليست عمليات فقط تراجعات محدودة أو جني أرباح؟
Well, we've had this conversation, I think, the last time I was on your show, that instead of focusing on the market as a whole, we need to start peeling the onion layer and see where there are opportunities. And the big criteria that we can conclude so far is there were many reasons for the market to go down. We are roughly around 6 months from the time that the tariffs were implemented in April, and the markets are at all-time highs. So the point is that the money is not leaving the market. Small cap, mid cap indices are hardly up, maybe 3, 4, 5%. So they have not rallied as much as the market. And there are many other sectors that have been impacted with the potential of regulation and limitation on advertising, such as pharmaceutical. And as some of those fears subside, we could see a lot of upside. So I think the opportunity is to think about where there is undervaluation, where there are catalysts that can propel that kind of valuation, and where are the areas where those stocks or indices and sectors and have not done well. So I think that's the focus one should have right now, instead of focusing on what could go wrong with the MAG7 type of stocks.
الملفت سانديب بأن هذا الحوار كنت أجريته مع مجموعة من مدراء الثروات، وكان هنالك نقاش حول أنه من الصعب اليوم إيجاد أي من الأصول أو أي من الأسهم التي تبدو قيمتها مغرية. فأين تجد اليوم هذه الأصول سانديب؟
We're finding quite a bit of them, as I mentioned to you, in pharmaceuticals. So, they are still very good. If you look at an energy area, there are a lot of companies that are quite beaten down right now. And if you think about energy and healthcare as a component of the overall S&P 500 index, I think the relative weights in these sectors are very close to many decade low, if not all-time lows. So there is the opportunity where people are ignoring, and the market is really working more on following the leader. So the money is flowing to where there is performance, which causes their weighting in the S&P to go up, and then more money comes in. So whenever the MAG7 type of stocks slow down a little and the money doesn't leave the system, which I don't think it's going to in the near term, then it has to flow to other areas which are still very undervalued, some of the ones I noted for you. And then in addition to that, we have a one-off type of corrections, like that we had a correction recently in one of the major copper mining stocks for a idiosyncratic reason, and that presents an opportunity. So I think one needs to be more plugged in and not just depend on a rising tide lifting all boats, which means we have to do a little bit of hard work and find these opportunities.
نعم سنديب، كما تعلم الآن سنبدأ في تلقي نتائج أعمال الشركات، وهذا سيدفع بأغلب المستثمرين لمراقبة تحركات النتائج، وعلى إثرها ربما سيخرجوا من هذا السهم أو يعودوا له. ولاحظنا نشاط واضح لصناديق الأكتيف أكثر من الباسيف في بعض من يعني الانديسيز يعني أو المؤشرات العالمية تحديدا في وول ستريت. كيف سيكون السلوك الآن المتوقع لصناديق الأكتيف الآن؟
Well, I think the active funds are probably looking to gradually reduce their exposure, but not actively, kind of run away from the areas that have been doing well. And momentum, for example, is a very difficult thing to overturn. And right now, the market has momentum. And as I noted earlier, there are a lot of things that can still go right in the market. The Fed is out of the picture, as we've noted, and Chairman Powell is not going to make any impact no matter what he does, whether he cuts twice or he doesn't cut twice. I don't think that really moves the needle for the market. The market has looked past whatever the Fed is going to do. And, any contribution from the Fed, any weakening on the labor market side, I think and any improvement on the inflation, the tariff situation, trade agreements, peace deals, these are all catalysts that can actually bring out even more animal spirits, even though, as we acknowledge, the S&P as a whole, the valuation is at bubbly level. There is no denying about that. But within the S&P, as I mentioned, there are a lot of areas that we should look for. And the earnings are going to be, I think, reasonably good. I don't think the earnings are going to bring the market down this quarter. Next year is a little bit of a different matter.
نشكرك سنديب شرما رئيس قسم الاستثمار في سينتاكس كابيتال. شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you so much. Sure. Bye-bye.